In December of 1908, 10-year-old Nanny Womack was walking home from school in rural Russell County, Kentucky, something she had done countless times. She had been walking with a group of girls, but as she drew closer to home, the others split off and went their separate ways. Nanny almost made it. Just a few hundred yards from her family's farmhouse, the other children turned toward their own houses, and Nanny continued on alone. She made it only about 50 more yards. That short stretch of road became the scene of one of the most horrifying crimes South Central Kentucky had ever seen. And what happened next would send a warning across Russell, Wayne, Adair, and even Pulaski County. When grief becomes rage, the law may not be fast enough to stop what comes next. By nightfall, Nanny's family knew something was wrong. A search began, and around 10 o'clock that night, the worst possible discovery was made. Nanny's body was found near the country road, partially hidden beneath leaves. Nearby, searchers found signs of a struggle and a crude club. Within hours, search hounds were called in from Houstonville. The governor offered a $250 reward, and Russell County added another $100. The community wanted answers, and rightfully so. And very quickly, suspicion turned to one man named Elmer Hill. Elmer was in his mid-20s. He was also related to Nanny. Reports described him as a man with a violent reputation, and authorities already knew his name. Years earlier, he had allegedly been arrested for an attack on another schoolgirl, but he escaped custody and had avoided capture. So when Nanny was murdered, people believed a dangerous man had finally gone too far. One member of the search party put it bluntly: there was not a doubt as to Hill's guilt. And then the hunt began. The hounds picked up the trail almost immediately. What followed was not a quick search. It became a grueling chase across counties, through woods, over rough ground, and into family homes and hiding places. The dogs reportedly tracked Hill for more than 90 miles over several days. At one point, the trail led to his grandfather's house in Russell County, where Hill was believed to have spent the night. At other times, searchers thought they could hear him moving through the woods just ahead of them. He was close, but not close enough. Eventually, the trail led toward Sano in Adair County, where Hill had reportedly changed shoes to confuse the dogs. It did not work. 5 days after Nanny's murder, he was found hiding at a relative's barn, reportedly ducking into an outhouse when he heard the search party approaching. His own family turned him in. Taking Elmer into custody was only the beginning, because now the authorities had to keep him alive long enough to stand trial. Elmer was first taken to the jail in Jamestown. A preliminary hearing was waived, but outside the jail, the mood was changing. People gathered quickly, and the chatter was spreading like wildfire. It wouldn't be long until threats against Elmer's life were made. Authorities realized that if Hill stayed in Jamestown, the jail might not hold, so they made the decision to move him. In 1908, moving a prisoner for safekeeping was not simple. It came down to courthouse networks, sheriffs who knew one another, county judges, jailers, telephones, and telegraphs when they worked. And sometimes a deputy sent ahead by horseback. But when a mob was forming, there was another problem. Every message could leak. Every road could be watched. Every delay could cost a prisoner his life. That appears to be what happened with Elmer. Russell County officials knew Jamestown was no longer safe. Somerset reportedly refused to house him because there was already another accused child assailant in the jail. Officials feared the threat would grow, so Hill was moved to Monticello in Wayne County. Deputies took him through miles of cold December woods under the cover of darkness, hoping distance and secrecy would protect him. For a moment, it seemed like the plan had worked, but the mob was not done. Around 9 o'clock that night, more than 100 men stormed the Russell County Jail. They demanded Elmer. When they were told he was gone, they searched the jail themselves and scattered into the town. There was suspicion that telephone and telegraph wires had been cut. Calls continued to go unanswered. The group of outraged men were on the move with nothing but vigilante justice on their minds. Before long, word did reach Monticello that armed men were coming, and to use a popular cliché, hell was coming with them. The ferry the hell on horseback needed was not running, but that only slowed them down. These men would not be stopped. Around 11 o'clock at night, a splinter group of the armed men arrived at the Monticello jail under the guise of bringing in another prisoner. When the jailer opened the door, he was met with rifles. They dragged him from the jail, put him on a horse, and took him into the dark woods near Greasy Creek. There, beneath a sycamore tree, they tied a rope, and before dawn, Elmer Hill was dead. Some reports claimed Elmer confessed before he died. Others said he asked to pray. Some said he refused, declaring that his fate was already sealed. The details vary, as is usually the case. We may never know with certainty. What we do know is this: Elmer Hill never stood trial. There was no jury to hear the evidence, no court-issued sentence, only mob justice for a suspect who assaulted a child. By morning, Elmer's body was still hanging from the sycamore near Greasy Creek. There were no arrests, no indictments, no accountability to be had for the men who took him from the jail. Governor Augustus Wilson later said Elmer should have been punished if he was guilty, but that he should not have been lynched. It was a weak condemnation, and it faded quickly, but the memory did not. Some, even now, thought justice was served, just not soon enough. For years afterward, whenever officials in South Central Kentucky heard rumors of a mob gathering near a jail, people remembered what happened in Russell County. And even in Pulaski County, the fear was real. This story is not just about one terrible crime. It is about a child who never made it home. It is about a community consumed by grief and rage, and about the moment people stopped trusting the courts. And in the case of Nanny Womack and Elmer Hill, one life was stolen by violence, and another was taken by a mob that decided the justice couldn't wait. This was Greasy Creek justice. This has been Hometown Murders and Mysteries, an LCTI production. Follow us on Facebook at Lake Cumberland Tactical Innovations or on YouTube and TikTok at Somerset Sleuths 25. Thank you for watching.